Yeah, good day everyone. So today we will check. I have a plan to go through the switch case. So we are done till for loop. So today I have a plan to go for the switch case in Java. So I will not going to introduce myself. So you can see the link in the description. You will get that. And as always, I am a slow learner as well. So I mentioned that because it is my negative thing. This is a drawback. So if you are facing some problem in your case as well, so I will recommend just practice and practice and practice, and everything will be, you will be able to overcome every single thing if you just practice. So today, yeah, as I mentioned, my topic will be switch case in Java. And prerequisite, I will say like the most three important chapters in your programming career or programming journey we have been covered. Okay, it is not like switch case is important, array is important. I will not say like conventional teachers, like when I was a student, my teachers was like, when they start a new chapter, always they mention like this is the most important chapter. But I will say always first three chapter is the basic. Become strong on those three chapter only. Okay, practice as much as you can. You can go with for go through my exercises as well. If you have any doubts on those exercises till chapter 3, whatever the classes we have done, we have already done, I guess, 5 classes before that, on those first 3 chapters. So if you have any single doubt, you can mention that in the comment section, or you can send me a mail as well. If I will check. If I get time, I will try to reply you back. So the prerequisites are obviously start from zero. Means if you are really starting from zero, then these classes will be for you. If you are a super talented person, and if you have a big dream in programming thing, like, and if you know much of the things, obviously these courses will be not good for you. Frankly speaking, I prefer who is starting from zero, and I am showing in that way itself. So if you are really starting from zero, revise all of my previous classes and then come to this class, then it will be helpful for you. And the second thing is, obviously you need to practice, and for that you need to have the time in your hand. Okay, so switch case. What is switch case? Switch case is similar like if. So suppose if I take the example like enter the month number and print the corresponding month. So my purpose is to compare if and switch case. So I want to think like, suppose I need to solve this program for only first 3 months. Okay, let it be for first 3 months only. I'm not going for the number for April or May or June, not like that. Only for 3 months. If anyone enters 4, he or she will be able to see invalid month. Only first 3 months will be displayed. Means if I enter 1, January will be printed. If I enter 2, February will be printed. If I enter 3, March will be printed. So how we can solve this problem? So as always, let me open the online compiler because it doesn't require any installation or anything like that. So I prefer that. And obviously I will guide you when we'll be requiring the some softwares, some real softwares. Okay. So for the time being, online Java compiler will be enough. I always go for this online GDB because it is easier with GDB to take the inputs and interact with the compiler. For others, I saw some problems, but yeah, let me input some of the things. Import java.util.star, say, and let me take those as usual things like scanner sc new scanner to input the things. And it is, believe me, it is very easy chapter. We do not have much things to know. It is very easy. So I will just input like enter the month. First, I will solve this program using if. We already know if, and if is the is in first 3 chapters, and first 3 chapters are most important, as I mentioned always. So int m equals to sc.nextInt. So I have taken the input from the user. Now I will simply check if m equals to 1, then I will print January. Let me do that. Println January. if m equals to 2, then it will be February. Let me copy and paste. I do not like much to write. Same thing else, if m equals to 3, then it will be March. So I hope you know this thing. If not, I will suggest you to go through the class number 2. And if anyone enters something else, something apart from these 3 numbers, as I mentioned, he or she will be able to see something invalid. I will only deal with the first 3 months. So invalid. So this is the solution of this program. So whatever we can do with switch case can be done in if as well. So if I enter 3, you can see I got March. If I enter 2, I will get February, obviously. Okay, so now whatever I can do with the if, obviously those can be solved. Let me draw something quickly. So the scope of if is much bigger than scope of switch. Okay, you need to remember that. So switch is a part of the if only. Okay, so if I mention like this is the scope of if and this circle is the scope of switch, that's all. Okay, so whatever we can solve with switch case, that can be solved in if as well. I will show why and when I need to use switch and where it will not work. So for the first one, this program I will now try to solve with switch. How to solve with switch? So it has its own syntax. It is not that tough. It is not tough at all. It is a new kind of syntax. If you prefer to use if, obviously go for if. But just suppose your friends are solving some problem with switch case, so there is no meaning to sitting like stupid, like I do not know switch. So better than that, just check what is switch. So in switch, I will mention a value inside a switch statement, switch m. And after that, I will write case 1, means when the value of m will be 1. Then what will happen? I will simply print January. I will simply print January. Okay, so when the value of case will be 2, that means the value of m will be 2. So this 2 means the value of m will be 2. Then it will be February. Next, when the value of m will be 3. So it is very simple, but yeah, it is a new kind of a syntax. So you need to remember that. Otherwise, it is very simple. It is simpler than if itself. So this is case 3. Now, if I execute this program and if I enter 3, it will give March. But the problem is if I execute this program and if I give 2, it will print February and March both. Why? Because the switch case, this is the syntax and this is the functionality of switch case. Switch case helps to reach to that position. And after that, it automatically executing every line. Okay, so this thing is being called as a fall through. This property is being called as a fall through. I will explain fall through in the next solution. But for the time being, if you do not want to execute everything after case 2, you need to use a break. And this case 3, case 2 are just the, what can I say? Just the milestone or the marker. Okay. If you execute case 3, it will not print anything. It will not do anything. These are just the marker. Means whenever the value of m will be 2, it will reach to this part. Whenever the value of m will be 3, it will reach till this part. So after reaching to this part, I need to break. Otherwise, March will be printed. You can see if I enter 2, it is printing February and March both. So I need to break. I need to put the break statement after printing February. Okay, so same for the last one, it is not mandatory because we do not have any lines after this, but still the good part is write break statement always after the case statement. So now if I run, if I enter 2, it will only print February. So in the switch case, break statement is required. Otherwise, it will be executing all further lines, all the following lines. Okay. So now what will happen in case of if I give 4? So it should print invalid, but here I have not mentioned what will happen for 4, what will happen for 5. So in those cases, I need to write something called default. Not any case, it will be just default. So default will be something like this. So again, for the last line, break statement is not required, but still you can use. I prefer always to give the break statement after the printing line. So you can say like invalid here. So now for all other values, apart from 1, 2, and 3, it will print invalid. If I give 10, invalid. If I give -10, then also it will be invalid. Take a look. So this is a way to use switch case. Okay. Now, so I have solved the same program using if and using switch case, both. So if and switch case is same in this program. If I go to the next problem, suppose enter the marks and print grade. So this is a range of value. So in case of range of value, you can solve this kind of problem using if statement or nested if statement. But these things cannot be solved using switch case. So there is no use or no benefit using switch case in this type of cases where we are dealing with ranges. Because you can see switch case deals with distinct values. Means here the value of m will be 1. The value of m will be 2. The value of m will be 3. So in this kind of program, that it deals with range of values, means 81, 82, 83 till 100. So in these cases, switch case is not an efficient option. Okay, so we should go for if, nested if approach for this kind of range related problem. So we have solved this kind of problem in if, and the solution should also prefer if. Okay, so switch case should not be an option in these cases. So I hope you are clear why switch case is not a better option than if, and why if covers a wider range than switch case. Okay, so you will not be able to solve all the problems using switch case. So that is the thing. So if I go next, so okay, sorry, it is mentioned wrongly that we will learn 4 topics. It will be only 2 topics for the day. Okay, so it is mistakenly written. So we will learn only 2 topics. The topic 1 is input choice. What is input choice? Suppose anyone enters like enter 2 numbers and enter a choice. And if the choice is 1, then you need to add 2 numbers. If the choice is 2, then you need to subtract those 2 numbers. If the choice is 3, then you need to multiply. And if the choice is 4, you need to divide. So the first task will be to enter 2 values. So here I will enter 2 values. Obviously, you know how to solve that using if. I will show you now how to solve the same using switch case. Okay, so the same thing, actually, the same thing. It is the easiest chapter in our journey. Believe me. You can tell that later when we'll be covering everything, but for the timing, it is the easiest one. So X and Y will be the 2 number. After that, I will take another number input as a choice. So I will write enter 1 for add, enter 2 for subtract, comma 3 for multiplication, 4 for division. And this will be inside C for choice, or CH for choice. Okay, so or let it be like choice itself. The number variable is choice. So I will check choice, the variable. When choice will be 1, I will just print the sum. So the sum is, I can write the sum is plus A plus B. Not A plus B, sorry, it is X plus Y. Kind of that. So the same thing I will repeat. So if the choice is 2, The answer will be the subtract. I will do subtract for x and y. So it is checking the value of choice. When the value of choice is 1, it is going for add. When the value of choice is 2, it is subtracting. Next, for 3, I will multiply x and y. The product, the product is x and y. And for 4, okay, we do not have any 4. So let me introduce a 4 here. So case 4, we are going to divide it. So case 4, the division is x by y. What next? In the default, I will say invalid choice. So the programs which involve some distinct values, as I mentioned, like choice. In choice, you cannot give a range of value. So in these cases, people sometimes prefer switch case. That's all. But yeah, if you do not know switch case, obviously you will not be in trouble. You can solve that you can solve that using if else. Okay. So if I go for 3, suppose I want to multiply 10 and 5. So the answer will be, the product will be 50. So this is a solution. Okay. I hope you are clear. It is very simple code and we do not have any much complexity here. So suppose if anyone goes for another option, like enter 2 numbers and then enter a choice. Now the choices are a character. Means it might be plus, it might be minus, into, and divide instead of a number. So today we will learn how to deal with the character input. As the class is very easy, today's class, so I will prefer to show you how to take the character input. Okay. So something tough we need to do actually. So I can use this class for the character input. So it is very simple rather. I'm not saying tough. It is like char choice. And instead of next int, it will be kind of next dot char at 0. For the time being, you do not need to know the meaning. Obviously, I will cover all of them, but it is not required for the time being. I will cover all of them. Believe me, for the time being, just concentrate on the logic. That's all. So this is the way how can you take a character input. Character means a character input can be anything from your keyboard. So you can input 1, you can input A, you can input B, you can input @ you can input exclamatory marks, whatever you can see in your keyboard in front of you, everything can be entered as a character. So for the time being, I can give the value of character like plus, like minus, but here you just need to know all those values should be covered under quotes. Why under quotes suddenly? If you write, suppose char A equals to A. So this A is variable and this A you are trying to mean as a character. But if you write this, compiler will understand like A equals to A or A equals to B means I need to store B, means the value of variable B inside the variable A. So to distinguish it from the variable, I am trying to mean a value. So if you are trying to mean a value, you have to use the code. That is all about using the code. That is the only purpose of using code, so that no one can understand, no one can like confused if it is a variable or value. If it is a variable like A, B, C, you can simply mention A equals to B. We have done at the time of swapping of 2 numbers. You can remember that wine glass and that cup of tea, that problem. We have written T equals to A at that time. So it means T is taking a variable A. But if you want to mean like T is taking a character value, then you need to mention that value inside code. We will cover this section later as well. We have a separate chapter for character, but for the time being, I am just showing you how to deal with this. So all the values of character here should be under the single quote. That you need to remember for the time being. So that's all. We will still cover this chapter, including this the meaning of quotes and everything when we'll be solving the character chapter. But for the time being, let me use this a class to show some character inputs. So enter the first number again, 10 and 5. And this time I want to go for plus. So if I do that, the sum is 15. So the same menu using character inputs. That's all. So we do not have much thing to do today. So if I go to the last topic of the day, that is fall through. So what is fall through? We have already checked. If you do not give break, it will execute all the following lines. So here, suppose we have a problem like enter the month number and print the season. In India, December, January, and February is the winter. 3, 4, 5 is a summer. 6, 7, 8 it is monsoon or rainy season, and 9, 10, 11 is the autumn. So we need to print accordingly the input. If anyone enters 12, he or she will be able to see output as winter. If anyone enters 7, the month of July, he or she will be able to see rainy season in return. If anyone enters November, that means 11, he or she will be able to see autumn. So if I try to solve this problem, first, what do I need to do? I will first write, enter the month number, enter the month number, and it will be something like M. Let it be M. I do not need other input. It is very straight cut. So I will check M, the value of M I will check. If it is 12, say, I will print winter. I will print winter here. Let me delete this thing and break. If it is 1, I will print winter again. Let me delete all this thing except default. Default will be required. If anyone enters some bad value, obviously, I need to check that. Okay. If anyone enter case 1, sorry, so that will be winter again. If anyone enters 2, if the value of M is 2, it will be winter. So let me copy this out again. So again, for summer, I can give 3, 4, and 5. So here, it is very troublesome to write all 12 combination. All 12 combination, if I want to write, it will take a lot of time. So better one shortcut will be there if I use fall through. What I will do? I have checked if I do not give break, it executes all the following lines. So I will remove these lines. So if the value of M is 12, it will be reached this point and it will execute all the following lines and winter will be printed, because there is nothing to execute with case 1 and case 2. As I have mentioned, these are just the markers. Okay, so it will pass through that and it will print winter. If I enter 1, it will pass through that and it will print winter. So we can avail some shortcut by using fall through. So this disadvantage, we are using it in a positive way. So I also prefer to go for the positive sides always. So probably you can see in my blog or in my description about myself, you can see I always prefer actually to go for the positive thing. So when pandemic came and everything was shuttered, and in all WhatsApp group, in my office group, in my college group, means all the friends were talking about, believe me, negative things. How many days I need to stay in home? How many days I do not like? Kind of those statements I used to see in all the groups. But believe me, if you are added in my Facebook profile, I have taken it in some different way. I take it like it is like a pupa state. Suppose you are a caterpillar or earthworm and you are entering into a pupa state. Pupa is similar like lockdown. So use that state in a way. So like when you will come back into the life, you will feel like a butterfly. I have given a post when I just get a job in European market. So I was looking for that. I spent almost 10 years to means get a job in some overseas countries. I have to explore myself as well, how it looks like. I never got an on-site. So in that perspective, my luck is not that good. Believe me, all of my friends has gone many years ago, but still I was struggling. But I took this lockdown period in a way that after lockdown, I should I should enjoy my life. and I should become a butterfly from the caterpillar. So I will suggest the same thing for you. Take everything as a positive. Even lockdown should have a positive point, some positive points at least. I know there are several destruction happened and several people lost their life, but still for you, I will not suggest you, or I will not guide you like you will be feeling depressed kind of that. So I will always prefer if you take some positive sides at least from your life. So okay, I did one mistake here. It will be autumn. So our program is ready and our class is almost done. So okay, it is saying one wrong thing. Why? Because I have mentioned case 12 twice. It is saying duplicate case level. Obviously, it is duplicate. So what I will do? Okay, let me write 9, 10, and 11 here. So I hope we are done. Let me run this program for you. So suppose I will give 9 here. Okay. So if I will give 9, obviously it will print autumn because it is fall through and it is directly going into the autumn line and it is printing the autumn and break. That's all. That's all. If you check the program, I am expanding it. I have just mentioned all the distinct values of the month. That's all. So what you need to do now, first you have to revise all the classes we have done, all the first 5 classes on the topic, first 3 chapters, starting programming, if and for. You need to revise all of them. And after that, this class is not that important, the switch case, but still you have to check and you need to solve the exercise. Let me show you from where you can get the exercise details. So we have a Facebook group. You will get the Facebook group details into the link of this class on the description section. So if you go to the album, you will get a album like coding exercise basic. If you go to that, you have to go to the chapter 4. Chapter 4 is the switch case. If I open it, yeah. If you go to the chapter 4 is based on the switch case. So you have to check this thing. And if you face any problem, any doubts, you can let me know. I will try to discuss that in the next class. Okay. Or I will try to solve that in the comment section. So in the last page, you will get all the details. You can take a note of that. So that's all for the day. Bye. See you again next week or with some new chapter. Bye for the time being.